So, for anyone that will be joining me on the 8th of April for the live sub-wiring into the Audi TT Mark II, I just wanted to give a quick rundown of the car that I'll be wiring the sub into. And if you've got a similar car, then you'll be able to follow along and work on your own car too, maybe wiring the sub. Now there is a big difference between the car that I'm going to be working on and the average car, and that is that the battery is actually in the boot of the car in an Audi TT Mark II 8J, I believe it is. So I'm going to turn the camera around and then we'll take a look at the car that I'll be working on the 8th of April live stream. 1 second. So this is the car that we'll be working on. It's an Audi TT 2-litre turbo, 2007 plate Audi TT. I just want to go through some of the modifications that I've got. So in the engine bay we've got a Ram Air oversized air filter, and that's what that is there, that goes across, down and to here. And then we've got a cold air intake which basically just blows air out all over the filter. You give it cold air because that's more explosive, so when the air comes out of here, goes into the air filter, through the pipe, across and down into the engine, and then because it's colder air, that will make the oxygen more explosive when it enters the engine, and that will give you more acceleration, more power. So at the front, what I've done is I've got rid of the fog light on the front left side or front right side if you're facing the front of the vehicle, and replace that with the air intake. I've got the 19-inch alloys that I believe are from a TTRS, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Everything else on it is pretty standard. I do also have, so this is where mostly we'll be working. I've got the cables for the sub. You've got your remote cable there, that's going to go to the head unit. That's going to be the neutral wire. That's going to come from the amplifier back to the battery. That's the live cable. That's going to come from the battery to the amplifier. And then we have the auxiliary cables, which are going to go from the head unit to the amplifier. And then obviously with the sub itself, there's just a couple of inputs down here, and I'll use a bit of speaker cable for that, or whatever I have laying around. I'm an ex-electrician, so I'm sure I'll be able to find a little something. Inside the car we have inside the car we have full leather interior. We have a custom head unit. Well, I say custom, it's a Android head unit. The sub itself is that there. Kenwood, should be quite a nice sub, should make some good low end noise. I'm going to leave the back seats down just so that sub is going to be on display behind me while I'm driving, and then obviously if I want to hide that at all, I can just put the seats back up, and that's how I'm going to do that. The back seats anyway, they're too small for anyone sort of grown up to sit in, so I'm not too bothered about losing the back seats there. I'm going to fire up the Android head unit so you guys can see that. So this is the Android head unit. It does work off its own Wi-Fi also, and I do have Project M on that, so that when I'm driving along it makes all nice pretty patterns and whatnot, and that actually goes along with the music too. So that's just an app that you can download onto your head unit, and that will just sporadically change between different graphics and whatnot, and it does look really nice in the car. Everything else is pretty standard on it. I've got camera, got a phone cradle. This is actually quite a nice one. I like this because it does that and then it closes and grips the phone, so that's quite a nice little feature. And then I've got the Lynx air freshener mounted onto the air output from the heater or the AC, whatever you use. Everything else is pretty standard on it. The only other slight modification I've got is I do have a exhaust tips on the back of the car, which I guess I can show you now as well. 1 second. So back out of the car. And those are the exhaust tips that I've got on the back of it. It does look nice in person. I don't know how that's coming across on camera, but yes, very nice. Obviously spoiler I usually have up because I'm a boy racer and a bit of a chav, and I like that. But that's everything. So the main focus that I wanted to get out of today is just keep in mind that the battery isn't where the battery usually would be on a standard car. With the Audi TT Mark II 8J, they are in the boot of the car, which is going to make my life a hell of a lot easier when I'm wiring this up. So that's everything. So I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you on the 8th of April at midday. Thank you, bye!